Hi folks, I'm just advertising a DTube exclusive video, which I will be, which I'm going to upload today. So I have a DTube exclusive, and when I went on my walk today, it was really wild. I mean, the Loree McBride Jesuits were just flaunting themselves everywhere, and I took video coverage of it all, and they seemed to like it. So if I make a YouTube video and post it up here at YouTube, I'm just going to encourage them. So it's going to be a DTube exclusive. I called them some choice names. So it's possible that if I post this at YouTube that maybe YouTube might flag the video for harassment when they're harassing me. But, you know, with Loree McBride running things, there never is true justice. So if you want to see what I called them, oh yeah, man. I was saying stuff like this. I was saying, oh, you're just trying to discourage me from going on my walks. Well, I'm just going to take the longer route. And it says, hello, you're on camera. And I just took pictures of it. It was walk crazy. And then when I came back, I said, what did you call them? Basically, I called them Loree McBride Jesuit Jackasses. But knowing Loree McBride, she might say, oh, that video needs to be flagged. She's harassing us. I mean, her Jesuits didn't need. She'll probably say, those aren't my agents. She's paranoid, schizophrenic. Well, go watch the video and judge for yourself. It was wild today on my walk. I mean, really wild. And then when I came back from the walk, I had to drive to pick up my package from that I had FedEx delivered to a special location. I don't like them delivering to my door because I'm always asleep when they deliver, and I'm afraid if the package is left in front of my door, something might happen to it. So on my way to go get my package, which was delivered today, it was some flax oil that I ordered. When I got into my parking spot and started backing out, the same time that I went to my car, a Loree McBride Jesuit woman went to a car that was parked in visitor parking 2 spaces away from me. I decided to wait for her to back out because I didn't want to have, you know, like a rear end accident when I'm backing out. So you know what this lady did? She didn't just back out. She backed out, then went about 30 feet behind me, and then went forward, and then went backward into the aisle that was to the road that was behind me, and then went forward again to go out towards my to take the back end. She did that on purpose to draw attention to herself. She could have just anyways, you say, oh, that's a coincidence. Okay, maybe I'll grant that possibly that was a coincidence, the timing, how she just showed up at her car the same time I went to my car. Then I backed out. I made sure it was clear because one of the Jesuits' favorite tricks is when I'm backing out, they like to send cars out of nowhere to just whiz right behind me, try to get me in a rear ender, you know. So I backed out looking both ways. It was clear. And when I was fully backed out and into my lane, then another car, this time to my right, had to back out and leave. This was across the street. So they backed out, and then they were right in front of me, and they blocked my way so that after I backed out, I couldn't go forward. So I said, what am I going to do? So I just sat there and waited to see what they were going to do. And then, so what they started doing is they were in front of me, and they decided to, I think they decided to go a little bit more over towards their side. So that gave me some space to go around them and go this way. It's funny that it's not like I have a major parking lot. It's not like I'm parking in New York City parking lot. This is like a little rinky-dink parking lot with a rinky-dink, you know, complex and like a little strip mall, a little teeny-weeny strip mall with parking spot that's usually vacant. It just happens that when I backed out, 2 people had to back out at the same time. And then when I went to pick up my package, it was like everybody was time to go into me. And even when I was at the parking lot to pick up my package, I was, again, when it was my turn to back out, somebody else had to back out at the same time. You say, oh, that's coincidence. Yeah, about 20 coincidences in one day. This stuff happens to me every time I go out. Okay, another thing that I want to bring up is there was somebody who went to my Patreon page and said they wanted my nudes for $40, so they signed up. So I I have the deal I have is you get the nudes once your payment clears. And if you're a Patreon supporter, your payment doesn't clear until the first of the month. So if you support me for $40 now, you won't be getting the pictures until about March 1st or March 2nd. So when your payment clears, you get the pictures. The 2 nudes a month is what I send out. He apparently, he sent me a message at Patreon, gave me his email, and asked if he could get previous photos. So I sent him a message stating that he could look over my past. I've decided not to do this, but anyways, when I sent him a message to respond to him, I got a message at Patreon saying you're not allowed to send messages to this person. So I thought, that's strange. So I went and checked, and I noticed he totally dropped his Patreon support, but he did leave me his email. He obviously wants to start a private correspondence with me while I'm sending him my nudes. Sorry, folks, I'm not going to do that, okay? If you want, or maybe, I don't know what he's thinking, but if you want my nudes, you have to be one of my Patreon supporters, even if for only $1 a month, okay? The only reason I give you my PayPal email is so let's say you don't want to wait until the 1st. You want the picture sooner. So I give you my PayPal email so that because you need to know that to send me money through PayPal. So once your $40 clears at PayPal, I will send you the 2 nudes for that month, okay? But if you try to start a private correspondence with me through my PayPal email, I'm just going to ignore you. You have to correspond with me through Patreon, which means if I get your 2 nudes for the month, it's got to be through, you got to correspond with me through Patreon. So just sign up for $1. If you want to pay me through PayPal, you got to be at least $1 a month supporter at Patreon so that I can correspond with you at Patreon. I have to do this to cover my back and my men's back. Because a Loree McBride Jesuit, who's a man, might try to get a private correspondence with me and lie and say that we've got some sort of relationship going. It just doesn't look very good having a private email correspondence with a man that I'm sending nudes to. You get my drift? Okay. So anyways, you guys, go ahead and watch my DTube video. It's kind of long, so it's a DTube exclusive. Yeah, I assure you it is very interesting. I was having fun taunting, taking pictures of all these Loree McBride Jesuits and saying, hello, you're on camera. They were doing weird stuff like, today the theme seemed to be that they all have their car doors wide open and they'd be lounging in their cars and drawing attention to themselves as I walked by them on my walk.